the Hammer, a podcast about Warhammer by Games Workshop.
Hello, Hammerheads. This is Michael, and I am sitting here with my compatriots as we're going to talk about some more Warhammer Age of Sigmar. I'll let them introduce themselves.
It's Wes, as usual.
And Seth.
And Tila.
And Tila's going to talk a lot today, aren't you, Tila?
That's exactly what's going to happen.
She's been studying.
Get things all prepped up. We are, of course, Age of the Hammer, and we are brought to you by the South Georgia War Games Association. The SGWA is where the best miniature players in South Georgia get their game on. We're also brought to you by Broken Brush Gaming, and Wes, you know that's your cue.
Broken Brush Gaming is a local commission paint service located here in South Georgia. If you are looking to have miniatures or your army painted, or you just want some advice and tips on painting up your own army, you can hit me up at brokenbrushgaming@gmail.com or hit me on Twitter at broken_brush.
Hobby guys.
I mean, let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
It's that four-way trader game.
That was pretty cool.
That trader game's
hilarious.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, y'all talk. I'll just throw stuff in because I was telling all of these guys before we started up, I had a massive bout of insomnia last night, and I'm running on about 2 hours of sleep, so I'm getting a little bit punchy. So I am probably going to let them run most of the show tonight and just probably throw out random thoughts that pop into my almost delusional head at this point.
It's a good thing he's on the other side of the table so we can talk crap about Fire Slayers
Yeah.
and not be hit.
No.
They were pretty stupid in that game, though.
Or, I mean, you essentially... So, let's break it down.
Well, let's tell them what the game
Yeah, so we
was.
played GHB 2017 open play battle plan called The Trader, which is a game for 4 more players. And we had Skaven and Death somethings. I don't know what you were. Skaven and Blood.
Yeah, I was the vampire.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Versus Daughters of Cain and Fire
And Fire Slayers.
And we were using our Path to Glory warbands. So
Yep.
open play, narrative play, whatever you want to call it. And basically at the top of turn 2, one player from each team goes Trader. And
You roll a die.
you roll,
Whoever
when you
rolls the lowest on the
yeah,
team.
it's just 4 players. Whoever rolls lower on a roll off between the team is the Trader and defects to the other side. Well, the Skaven, as I shouldn't have even had to roll, I should have just been the Trader.
Yeah.
I'm glad the roll worked out that way.
It did,
was
because it would have
thematic.
been weird. It would have just been wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Just death walking away from skating.
yeah, I ended up with my Skaven being Trader, and Mike ended up being the Trader
The
to
Trader.
the Order side.
Yeah.
So it ended up,
The vampires offered me more gold.
yeah, vampires, and which didn't have a lot of vampires, to be fair.
There were a lot of vampires on
There were a lot of
one
vampires
model.
on the one model, yeah. So it ended up being Death and Fire Slayers versus Daughters of Cain and Skaven.
Yep.
Which we were in a prime position to pincer the Fire Slayers and absolutely murder them until we realized that Mike had dice in his hands and he just fired 6s like it was,
It was pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you should have shot my Grimwrath off the table.
Oh, yeah.
How many 6s did that spike on it?
A lot.
Well, and you missed with a lot of the attacks.
I did. It was a mixture of missing and then spiking attacks. So I summoned in a Lord of Change on turn 2.
Yep.
With my Warlock. And
Because why not?
because why not? I mean, you can. Well, I tried to summon in Flamers, and
And I stopped that.
Mike used his auto Unbind Relic to get rid of that. So then I said, all right, fine, I'll try to summon a Lord of Change. And I rolled a 10. So brought a Lord of Change on the board. And don't know. Oh, I did cast spells with him. I forgot.
You did.
Yes.
Knocked a whole whopping 1.
Yep. Cast
got 1 wound on my guy.
Yeah, cast Arcane Bolt, got a 6, and Mike ignored 2 of them. And then I don't remember what else I cast with him.
It was that thing where you roll all the dice and like 4-ups.
Oh right, yeah.
And you got like
spell.
you got like 1, I
Yeah.
think, out of all of it.
Yeah.
It was-
No, that was the one where you ignored something. I got like 6. I had a bunch of them. You ignored like 5
Yeah, I
of
thought
them.
that unit
Yeah.
was gone.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was not.
Yeah, because I put it on your unit.
You put it on the unit.
Of Hearthguard Berserkers or whatever they are.
Yep.
And
I lost one guy.
You lost one guy. Yeah, because he just rolled like crazy amounts of 4-ups. And then from there, that's where everything went south.
Yeah.
I made the bad mistake of I'm already in pretty close with the Lord of Change. Lord of Change should be decent in combat. Unfortunately, I didn't arm him to be decent in combat when I summoned him. Daughters have turned into a not Fire Slayer bloodbath.
Right.
As the Lord of Change got knocked down. Well, the Lord of Change didn't do anything. He just whiffed in combat.
Right.
The DOK got knocked down pretty hard.
Because it changed whiffed in combat. And then on our turn, instead of attacking the Lord of Change, I attacked the Daughters of Cain with the Grim Wrath.
And really did work.
And did work on them.
Yeah, I think you took all 10 of them off. Like,
Within
that was the entire unit.
Within a round.
Yeah, in
Within
one
a
round.
Yeah, they did get to attack the Rune Sun and put like a couple of wounds
Yeah.
on him. But there weren't enough of them left.
All one wound of it.
Yeah.
And then he attacked and finished them off.
Yeah, then we lost priority. And
Yeah.
then it just got really bad.
Because we were bottom of the turn. We win. That was when I put wounds on the
Yep. And then
the
you
Lord
just
of Change.
wrecked the Lord of Change
Yep.
with shooting.
Dropped my shooters in
Yeah.
behind your Warlock. Started
My Warlock survived for...
X's and shots that he ignored when he had that one wound left. That was just
Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
stupid.
I was going to say his initial assault got just run over. The Fire Slayers and Death pincered me.
Yep.
The entire time that Mike is holding off two armies, Death is moving 4 inches a turn closer to the Skaven. That's literally all I did.
Yeah, and sending a Terrorgeist over to Clank. Because there's objectives in that one which keep you from just doing what we try to do.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you get more points the later in the game that you control them.
But you don't have to stay on them when you claim them.
don't.
But
Yeah, you can
then
claim
someone
them.
else can claim them unopposed if you do that.
But in the end, I mean, it was both the Skaven and the Daughters of Cain were whittled down really quite well. And the Death and the Fire Slayers were not at all. And so, yeah, that was how it ended.
Well,
Yeah.
by the end of the battle, the Fire Slayers were whittled down pretty good because you
Yeah,
you did manage to pick off. My Grim Wrath finally died. I mean, he had like a wound or so left
Right.
on him. Picked off the Rune Sun, and then once that happened, then the Hearthguard Berserkers evaporated.
Right, yeah, there was like 1 or 2 of them left.
Yeah.
Um,
So I was left with my Rune Smiter and my Auric Hearthguard,
Yep.
my shooters, and they were completely on the opposite side of the table.
But they were just, yeah, it was I got hard pincered in the end. But no, I mean, it's a cool game. It's one of those ones where there's a neat mechanic to the start of the game where if you have 3 players per side, you make slips of paper and 2 of the slips say traitor, and each side gets 3 slips.
Yeah,
with
and one is
in each.
traitor.
And
So
you
the
draw-
traitor knows ahead of
Yeah,
time.
The traitor knows that they're the traitor, but nobody else knows. Like, you know that you're not the traitor,
Right.
but you don't know which of your other 2 companions are. And yeah, so it's definitely.
Yeah, I like it that way. That way I can
Interesting.
just assume it's the Skaven at all times.
I mean, to be fair,
Yeah, right.
I'm probably going to be the traitor regardless,
Yeah.
even if I'm not supposed to. I
Yeah.
might still be the traitor.
I'm okay with
I
that.
might
He's
say,
going to switch
you know,
cards with the other people.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, give me your slip. All right, cool. I like that slip. I like it much better. But yeah, I mean, super fun game, and I hope we can maybe run it again with 6 people.
Oh, yeah.
Just to give it a go.
Yeah, I really need to run that one again.
Yeah. I apparently my dice rolls do fabulous when I'm drinking and playing.
Apparently.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
people do really well with drinking
Yeah, like,
and playing.
same-
But I realized I've got to have more than 2 drinks.
Right.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, because I was like a little bit too ornery with just 2 drinks. I was not my usual self.
Well, that was what
I like,
happened.
give me another drink.
I summoned the Lord of Change, and Mike was like, yeah, look at all this crap you're doing. And I was like, you're still going to win.
Yeah, he thought he was out on turn 1,
And then his
I should have
dice,
been, though.
his
I
dice
really
just
should have
turned
been.
into rat traps and for battle plans.
Well, the
Yeah.
open play battle plans generally are. Well, you know what though? I don't have enough experience with them. When
Yeah.
I've read them, they've seemed to not be as balanced. But that's
Oh, they're certainly not balanced.
that's by intent because it's open play. It's not so much narrative, but it's just you're just throwing models out there just to have fun.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, some of them are pretty neat. So, hopefully we'll be able to report on some more of those in the future.
Definitely enjoyed that one.
Definitely.
Glad all the summoning was spiked. We got a Terrorgeist and Lord of Change.
Yeah, it was Terrorgeist.
Oh yeah. The summoning was stupid. In the
and
game.
Morghast.
And the Morghast.
The Morghast ate me too.
9 inches away, Morghast with 3d6.
That Coven Throne was
Charging.
stupid.
The
That
Coven
thing
Throne
was
is
dumb.
If you're playing Death and you're not running a Coven Throne, figure
Why
out your
not?
life.
Yeah.
Why not?
I didn't think it was... I literally
Change
took
factions.
it just so I could cast Beguile and have some...
Finish the base and then...
His work in progress is my, way too much
I'm
effort.
I've been done with that for a week already.
Well, so most of the model is done. I got to finish the base because the base just is painted green right now. So
No, that's
what's the
what,
base?
what needs finishing.
Well, I got to go put the tufts on it. And I got to
It's
highlight
painted
the
green.
grass. And,
It's done.
like I said, I got to highlight the grass. And
You're lucky it has base.
Tila's shaking her head no also.
no, I enjoy basing. Is one of my favorite. I love basing because it's like mini terrain.
With,
And I like making terrain too.
with like the textured technicals and stuff like that, I like basing now. I used to
Yeah.
loathe it.
Well, there's so much
Stand
stuff that you
basing.
can get for basing now. It's really great. The
Yeah.
tufts, you can get all kinds of different grasses.
Yeah.
You can get the technical paints are fantastic
Yeah.
for doing, dirts and different plantscapes and stuff. Snow. Oh man, the Valhalla Blizzard is fantastic.
Yeah.
But no, I enjoyed it. Because I enjoyed like that, getting it just right to where like, it's, because you can just slap a tuft on there and like, all right, there it is. But like, where would it be? Because if I were actually walking like this guy is, would I just set my foot there or like, how am I, so I really like getting that thematic feel to my
So
basing.
I usually try to do it so that they're like either straddling or their foot's
Right.
like beside it, not it's like right behind their foot or something like that.
I just
They
cover the
would
whole
have
thing in
stepped
moss.
over it.
Yeah.
Just cover the whole thing in moss and just put them right in the middle of it.
Right.
That works too.
Yeah.
You know,
It's the easiest thing to do.
that's the old way I used to do it was just sprinkle some sand on it, throw some paint on that, and I was done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A little flecks
Yeah.
of blood. Good to go.
And they looked horrible, but I didn't care.
Yeah, the old basing with just the pool sand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't. Oh no. I do
Just saying,
not want
maybe
to go
some
back to
aquarium
that.
rocks painted.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So much better stuff out there now.
Oh yeah.
Well, I know we'll be having a lot of hobby stuff coming up this weekend because Tila's getting some Daughters of Cain stuff finally and it's supposed to arrive Thursday. So this weekend will be a lot of...
We're going to have to send like half of that stuff away.
No,
Oh.
only a portion of it.
So half.
Yeah.
49%.
No, the Night Hunt stuff was not on the table in that other trade.
Ah, thanks.
But
It's okay. It's death. They'll send half of it away, and what's left will just raise more.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah. They probably do that in your, you
In
put
my
yours
shoebox?
shoebox, yeah.
Yeah.
they do it in my shoebox.
If you put them in foam, they don't have anywhere to expand. But if you put them in a
The
shoebox,
shoebox,
they probably
they
just make more, yeah.
Yeah.
Start overflowing the top of it
Yeah.
before too long.
Please no.
Death is rabbits, everybody. Death is rabbits.
That shoebox just...
I'm gonna put foam in the shoebox, and then it'll be like a decent shoebox for him to use.
I think this year after Thanksgiving, I'm going to go to the Black Friday sale with Battle Foam.
Oh, I'll definitely do that.
Buy
again.
Cephala.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like going to the Black Friday sale to pay less and just getting the shoe
A bunch of
boxes.
shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Here, you can have the boxes.
They're-
Black Friday deals for Battlefield are great.
They are good. They're
This
really
past
good.
year, I got so much foam.
I didn't do it this past year.
I got like 2 feet of foam this year. For
Well,
$100.
I had just done like a couple of Kickstarters.
You had just done the
Pretty
Numenera
big.
too.
Yeah, the Numenera
Oh,
Kickstarter,
yeah.
and I went pretty heavy on
Yeah,
that.
you
And I was like,
baller.
I can't.
Yeah, I think
I
I was
can't buy
unemployed,
foam.
so I definitely did not
Yeah, right.
go in on that one.
But
So if anybody from Battle Foam's listening,
Send
sponsored.
us free battle foam.
I don't think our 2 listeners qualify as us having a large enough
Hey,
audience.
you know what? We'll pitch the heck out of your product.
All right.
We all use. I mean, Mike and I use them.
Oh, I love their products.
Yeah, we don't.
That's fabulous, and their bags are top notch.
Yeah,
I mean, when I played
Free advertising.
War
for
Machine and
Battlefront.
Horde,
Oh, yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
so
I still
good.
use it for
what,
small
what
things.
happened to that troll?
Shut.
Mm-hmm.
It went with the trolls, didn't it?
She bought me this fabulous foam that I totally got rid of
That's the life.
because he wanted the shoebox. He just likes that more.
But in all seriousness, if any of the listeners have not tried Battle Foam, try it.
Give it a go.
Yep.
You will love it. They sold it to, I can't remember who they sold it to. It was a British company.
It might be
Yeah,
Modiphius.
Romeo sold it to a British company.
It's a cool game, though.
Is that
Yeah.
the vampire western?
No. It's
It's
different
a steampunk
Yeah.
Oh, I'm always down for
Western.
some steampunk.
with aliens and undead, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
And we're not playing this?
I know, right? I've got the starter kit for the Outlaws and the Lawmen, but
I mean, I love steampunk clockwork stuff. I mean, obviously, in our last D&D campaign, I spent 30 minutes in a clock shop. We were
well, we also saw a movie.
Well,
And
we
I know we
did.
saw a movie because all of us saw the movie.
Can we even
But-
talk about that
no,
movie?
this is family friendly. We are.
Yeah, we
can literally say,
It's Deadpool.
we went to see Deadpool 1. You're a horrible parent. Yes.
well, I mean, I guess if your children are like 16, then
Well, yeah, don't take your young children.
I'll take your 9-year-old.
Well, I mean, seriously, when I went to see Deadpool 1, and we went in, there was a mother that was in front of us that brought her 7 and 8-year-old kid. And not even halfway through the movie, she's getting up and leaving, complaining about, the language and the level of violence. And I'm like, did you not look at the rating?
No, I guarantee you,
Did you
her
not see all the
kids.
stuff on Facebook that
Her
said,
kids
don't take
told
your kid
her
to
that
Oh,
this?
it was
the
a superhero
preview
movie.
said don't bring kids.
Yes,
And
yeah.
I thought it was a joke.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, well,
I was like, okay, I will excuse you that you may not have read any of the comics. But
It was rated R.
yeah, it's
the
really
movie's
hard.
rated R. It's, yeah, anyway,
Yeah.
I'll get off my soapbox about that. So, were we going to talk about the additional rules first? And
Yeah,
then
so let's
go
do the
with
rules
factions?
first, because I think if we can, those are more important.
my
Those
brain's
are more
befuddled, so you guys go and I'll follow.
Yeah, sure. So the first, 3 new rule previews have come out since the last episode. The first one was on summoning, which for people who play summoning armies, if you play open and narrative play, you enjoy probably dominating the table.
Right.
And if you play match play, you probably don't summon very much, unless you're using it to control objectives and
Yeah.
things like that.
You will now.
Oh, you'll summon like crazy now. I really like the example that they give of calling, it's like, bringing out corn demons. Because how are you going to bring out corn demons in the current version? You got to take a wizard.
Right.
No.
Doesn't fit.
Yeah, thematically, no thanks. So I'm really surprised to see how they do that. I'm assuming it will be the priest.
I'm just waiting to see how they do it with the Kurgan overlords for summoning in more of the ships.
Right, yeah, because they're not.
I mean, I think it's going to be about the blood table. If
Yeah,
enough
if you
blood is
something like
spilled,
that
then
table or-
they just appear.
Because,
Yeah,
I mean,
that would be
if,
cool.
which works with both the fluff and the fiction.
Right.
It works with the idea behind Korn that it's just bloodshed and
So I could be wrong. Can't they do that now? If they get 9 blood points, can't they summon a bloodthirster?
8 blood points get you a bloodthirster.
Yeah.
So you have
So,
to pay for it currently.
but I think they'll just keep that the same. Maybe
And you
add
don't have to
something
pay
else
for
in
it.
there, bloodletters or something like that.
Yeah, because there is
Juggernauts.
I hadn't looked at that book in so long. I think there is one other level of the blood type table where you can get something.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what it is.
So they'll probably tweak that, which makes sense.
which then makes it worth storing up the blood points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, previously you weren't going to sit on the points of a bloodthirster hoping to get enough blood points to summon.
Which I think, too, all the games that I've played against Korn, it's really hard to get those blood points. Compared to...
Depends on the size of the game and whether people are taking big full units or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. If you're playing against, let's say you're playing against Fire Slayers and they got 2 units of 30
2 units
Volkite,
of 30 Volkites, you're
That's
not
2
wiping
blood
those
type
units
points.
out.
Mm.
I mean, even if you do bloodletter bomb them somehow, it's 2 points for
Yeah.
killing both units. So, because it's a point per unit, not a point per model.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
but,
then-
but it's also effectively more than 45 wounds that you have to go through.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's,
Yeah, that makes me kind of a bad person for doing what I did last time I went against Korn, and I think I had a unit of 9 pig riders for Iron Jaws.
yeah,
And tied up the entire...
I thought it was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, that would make sense why it seems hard to me to get blood points, because he didn't get any from me.
Mhm.
None at all.
Yeah. But basically what they say is rather than summoning units through magical spells, every army that could summon units in the first edition now has a unique resource that allows them to bring fresh reinforcements onto the tabletop that fits with their army's background. If you've played Maggotkin and Nurgle or Legions of Nagash, you already kind of know how that works. So Legions of Nagash, we know that theirs is that command ability that the Grand Host has.
Just bring them back to life.
If a unit's been wiped, whoop, they just come right back.
Here they are.
Yeah. So I haven't read Maggotkin and Nurgle well enough to know how they summon. So I know we reviewed it, but it's been so long.
Yeah. That's why I was trying to remember myself, and I can't.
Yeah. But so it's basically, the big change, of course, for Match Play is that summoning now no longer costs reinforcement points. You earn your summon units with in-game actions. Bloodshed, Spreading Plague, Mastering Magic, and other thematic goals. Then they give the example also of Hostess Slanesh. They revel in suffering and pain, both given and received, so they generate points when their heroes deal or receive wounds which do not slay their target. That seems like it's going to be hard to get.
Yeah, that's going to be a little hard.
Yeah. And it goes on to talk about the Seraphon and how they get it with their Star Masters and their Astro Bears, which came out today of how that actually works.
And they're going to get them.
They are going to get them. Just straight up. They don't have to do anything.
Yeah, it's just the easiest thing so far.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Legions of Nagash just has to die to be able to do it. So,
But that's not extra units. That's reinforcing a unit that you already had.
That's true. I bet there's another way to do it for Legions.
Oh, I'm sure.
So that's
not everybody is Legions of Nagash.
Yeah. So the big kicker is that summoning is now free in Match Play, which is great.
I think that's free with an asterisk because I'm sure you could still summon regularly and pay for it.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know if they said.
That. Well, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Will we see like all the demons? Will all of their war scrolls be changed in the new edition,
right?
To where they can't be summoned through magic. That would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's one of the big changes. No more summoning. Only war scrolls or battle tome.
Yeah, right. Which means that Skaven can't summon anymore. Well, sad.
Sad for Skaven.
Yeah, not really.
Well, there are going to be plenty of armies that can't.
Well, I just want to be able to summon rats. Just tons of rats.
Well, you can. Dreaded 13th spell.
Yeah, I got to roll a 12, though. I'm going to start sneaking a D8 onto the table with that, though, when I bring the Screaming Bell. And I'm going to roll it. And if nobody says anything and I roll a 13, I'm just going to be like, I win. If nobody calls me on it. If there's like, how'd you roll 13? Don't worry about it. I rolled 13. Don't worry about it. I rolled an 8 and a 5. Go away. How'd you roll an 8? Don't worry about it.
I told Wes, because he used to play Skaven.
Yeah.
I told him one time, I said, I would so actually let you, if you wanted to put like an extra pip on one of the 6s of your die, so that if you box card, I'd be like, yep, that's your 13. You win. He never took me up on it. I was like, I'd do it. I'd be like, yep, there's your 13, because, Skaven cheat.
I might get a special set of dice made that has a pip on one.
I would totally let you use that in the, game that we play. I would absolutely do it.
So cheating.
Because it would be such a fun story.
What's funny, because when you read the 13 on the War Scroll for the Screaming Bell, it says if you roll a 13, then you automatically win the game and are forever branded as a cheat. You're a Skaven Warlord. What do you care? So
yeah, I like the special dice. Just put a 13 on instead of a 6. Just put the 13 and just roll.
Just roll the one die.
Yeah. There you go. Roll the 13. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Like it's not pips. It's just the number 13.
Yeah, it's just the number 13.
The rest of the die is pips. That'd be hilarious. So yeah, the next rules that they sort of talked about for New Edition is this idea of endless spells, which they kind of hinted at for a while. And this article on Community still hints at what endless spells are. They're basically a new kind of magic that ranges from predatory magics that indiscriminately annihilate anything in their path to utility spells that provide cover against range attacks or allow you to heal units. So they're going to do all kinds of things. The cool thing is that both sides can control them.
The better cool thing is the player who's going second in that turn decides where the spell goes first.
Yeah, so let's say there's just one endless spell on the table. Yeah, the player that's going second gets to determine what it's going to do.
Yep.
Right.
And then if there's two endless spells, then you
alternate.
back.
Right.
You always start
like you do with the combat.
Yeah.
But you always start with the person who's going second for that battle round.
Yep.
Which means that throws yet another tactical kink into the whole, I won priority. Am I going to take my double turn? Or am I going to instead move that spell so it doesn't hit me and it hits some of his stuff?
Yep. Which is, but then if there's two of them on the table, which one's going to get
Which one's going to get?
you know?
Yep.
So I mean, pretty cool.
It'll be interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna like it yet, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Well, there was a thing that I was reading today. It looks like everyone's going to have access to because I think it was in the Seraphon article where they talk about being able to cast Blazing Maw and Purple Sun.
I'm going to be stunned if my armies can cast.
Well, I mean,
I
wizards.
Yeah. I mean, I could pull in,
Yeah, you can bring
with alliance points, bring in a wizard. But
Even
if they
one
keep those,
You mean Stormcast wizards?
probably just because I can paint it the same colors as my Stormcast.
That's true.
Might as well.
And they're probably going to be OP wizards anyway.
Even better.
They can do all kinds of nonsense. But yeah, so how do they work on the tabletop? Basically, they're cast like normal spells, but rather than resolving their text with a simple die roll, the summons a model that remains on the table, and that miniature persists throughout the game until it's dispelled. Wizards can choose to basically unbind a
Instead
spell.
of casting.
Yeah. Well, they can use their unbinding
Yeah.
if it's in their turn. They can choose to do this in place of, well, instead of casting a spell, actually, never mind.
Yeah.
I did that wrong. So you have to determine if you're going to cast or not. So I'm assuming that maybe when it's cast, you can attempt to unbind it initially.
Oh, I would expect so.
I would think so. They give a few examples of some of the spells. The one that we're all familiar with, of course, being Purple Sun, which is now the Purple Sun of Shyish, not the Purple Sun of Xerius. What it used to be, just Purple Sun?
Yeah, no, Xerxes,
Xerxes.
something like that.
No, Xerius.
Had an X in it.
Xereus, like the purple. There's a GW color called Xerius Purple. And everyone calls it Xerxes Purple. I'm like, Xerxes was the king of some old country. There's only one X in this guy's name. But actually, one of the abilities of Purple Sun of Shyish is Visions of Xerius, which is to subtract one from the bravery characteristic of all units that are within 6 inches of the model.
It should say all units that are left within 6 inches of this
It
Right?
should. Yeah,
it just obliterates.
yeah, but this one has a...
It's not as bad as it used to be, though.
No.
It's nowhere near as bad as it was in 8th edition.
It's got a casting value of 8. You set the model up. This is the scary thing. It has a casting value of 8. If you successfully cast it, you set it up wholly within 6 inches of you.
Yep.
But it's considered predatory, and it has a movement of 9 inches and can fly. So I'm assuming that when you set it up, you can then move it 9 inches in your
you
turn.
can.
Yes.
It says
Yeah,
that.
you can.
So
you can get it 15 inches away from
yeah, when this model is set up, the player who set it up can immediately make a move with it. Okay, yeah, that's the very next ability. The way that it works is...
You know, it's another cool thing that was in that rule that I like was they're referencing some fluff where there are now bounty hunter wizards
Yeah.
that travel around to get rid of these predatory spells.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so waiting for some
Probably.
narrative games or skirmish type level games where you're playing wizards going after these spells.
Or if you just got, let's say you've got 3 players, right? And you don't want to just play a standard 3-way game. You could have 2 guys that are going at it regularly, casting predatory spells and doing all this
Another
stuff.
guy just trying to get
And
rid
then,
of the
well, no,
spells.
but then the 3rd player gets to bring, like, say, 500 points of wizards, and he's just running around trying to get rid of
the
them.
spells.
And like,
That
so
could
he
be
gets to
fun.
play the bounty
Yeah.
hunter.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah, but so basically, when you move the model, it says after this model is moved, each unit that has any models that passed across, and each unit that is within 1 inch of it at the end of its move, is subjected to the Purple Sun's Baleful Energies. For each unit subjected to the Baleful Energies, roll a number of dice equal to the number of models in that unit. For each 6, one model in that unit is slain. If the unit has a wounds characteristics of 6 or more, it suffers 2d6 mortal wounds instead.
I want to point something out there. The model is slain. Doesn't take a mortal wound, doesn't take a wound.
Yep.
That just eats my fire slayers.
You run it, well, the other thing too is you run it over a hero that has 5 wounds. You roll a 6. it just dies.
Guys.
All of its wounds dead.
Yep.
So
No more hero.
because it's the one model from that unit.
Yep.
But yeah, so kind of a neat mechanic in that. Well, and see, that's the interesting thing too, is that on a 6+, the unit is slain. But if it has that higher than 6, it does take mortal wounds.
Right.
So I bet there'll be an FAQ that the wounds are considered mortal wounds.
But how,
Maybe.
though?
Maybe.
If the intent is to kill a hero with it, or to be able to kill a hero with it, some have 4, some have 5. It would be hard to say it deals
It would be
all of your wounds
it'd
in
be-
mortal wounds.
I think basically what they're getting around to is that they're designating the
The stronger
strength
heroes.
of will to
Yeah.
live between something that's got 6 wounds or above or 5 wounds down. If you're 5 wounds down, you're just slain.
Yeah.
It's not mortal wounds. You are dead. If you've got 6 wounds or above, it does this many mortal wounds.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
In other words, you've got a chance of surviving it.
And the other cool thing, they're really 12 inches instead of 9.
Which I really think this one should be more empowered than it is in Shaiish. I mean, because we didn't even touch on whose fault this is that all these endless spells are coming out.
Oh, right, it's the guy.
It's Nagash.
No, it's definitely Sigmar's fault.
Well, yeah, but
Well, it's anyone that's not Nagash's fault if you're a Death player, because it's a little bit Daughters of Cain fault, it's a little bit Sigmar's fault.
Yeah,
It's not.
I mean, it's
it's
definitely
very much
some of the
Iden's fault.
Deepkin. Yeah, some of
It's,
the
you know
Deepkin.
whose fault it isn't? Boy, Nagash is going to find out.
Yeah, eventually, but the Skaven helped.
I mean, that doesn't make it our fault.
Okay, I'll give you not your fault, definitely Sigmar's fault.
Definitely Sigmar. Everything is Sigmar.
So,
the whole game
Nagash
is Sigmar's fault.
has been...
well, true.
It's not fair.
Yeah, Nagash has been casting a spell, the Necroquake,
The Necroquake, yeah.
and it has rocked the Mortal Realm.
Realms?
The Mortal Realms, yes, it did. And, what was I saying? Now I'm
Necroquake
thinking
has
about
rocked the Mortal Realms.
Bugs Bunny
Yeah.
here. And Elmer Fudd. Oh,
So
but yeah,
that's gonna be Wabbit.
the Age of Death.
What's the Age of Sigmar with a much edgier and broodier...
No, I think they
logo?
literally said it's the Age of Death now. It's not the Age of Sigmar.
Well, the game still says Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, it's called that because I mean, who's
Because
going to
it's
change
Sigmar's
all those?
fault.
Yeah. Like I said, it's the broodier, edgier Age of Sigmar.
Well, you know, there's the Age of War. There's
when
the
they
Age
actually
of Chaos,
release-
Age of
Oh, Age of
Sigmar.
Death.
When they actually
Yeah,
release
gotcha,
second
yeah.
edition, it's not going to be called Age of Sigmar anymore. It's going to be called Fault of Sigmar.
We're Fault of Sigmar.
I like that.
I do like that, actually.
Yeah, and then when Chaos comes back and Sigmar ultimately dies, it'll be called the Fall of Sigmar.
There we go.
We're calling it now, everybody. GW, get on it. Make us right tonight.
We are so off topic.
It was on topic. We had to figure out why all these
Why all the
spells were
spells
running
happened,
around.
yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
Nagash's fault.
And now we're talking about renaming the game.
That's what happens.
That's Sigmar's fault, too.
So to bring us back on track, they give us another example of a spell.
Which the models look amazing.
and I want to know how
Awesome.
this one works.
Yeah.
So please,
So ranging out
30
up to 30
30
inches.
inches.
Yeah, the range. Its abilities are Arcane Passage. If a wizard successfully casts a spell while they are within 1 inch of an Umbral Spell Portal model, the range and visibility of the spell can be measured from the other Umbral Spell Portal model from this endless spell.
Which is kind of cool.
If a predatory spell finishes a move within 6 inches of an Umbral Spell Portal model, remove it from the battlefield and set it up again anywhere within 6 inches of the other Umbral Spell Portal model from this endless spell.
So pass through this portal
And I can put the other one way over wherever I want it to be.
right next to my wizard. Or my general.
Yeah.
So that from
And
way
then-
over here, you're popping my general
And
with
then I can
spells.
cast a ridiculous spell through that.
Yes.
Not only does it give me extra range to hit, I don't think you're going to be able to unbind. Because you're not within range of the wizard.
Not within... Interesting. Because it just says you can...
It says
Yes.
you can... The
Talk-
range of visibility of the spell can be measured from the other Umbral spell portal.
I think you're right.
So... I don't
Yeah,
think-
as written, you're right.
I don't think you're going to be within the 30... And I think that's the purpose of this.
Yeah.
But if you're the one who sets it, then you can prep for it by having your other wizards.
That Lord of Change just did. Unbind it.
Or imagine this. You set it down, put it where you want it. Then your other wizard, or if you've got another spell or whatever, the sun,
The sun.
and sends the sun through it.
Yep.
Then the sun still has its rest of its movement to move through it.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Crazy.
Crazy
That's
stuff.
what I was.
Like,
Yeah.
open it, spell through it, close it.
That. Yeah, you could put the other side like right near their army. So
Zinch is going to love that spell.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be players that are very smart and very conniving and very zinchy that are gonna figure out just all kinds of wreck plays with this thing.
And there's not a minimum distance from a unit for it.
Nope.
Yeah.
For placing it.
You just put it down.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It may change. It may change one day, but
I mean, GW's listening to us. I mean,
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're listening to us.
let's be fair. They've thought of all this. So the other preview
They've already play tested all of this.
they have
Oh yes, you know they have.
3 whole years. Wow, that was shady.
Just a little bit.
what are we in the realm of Ulgu?
Yes, with that comment I was. So then the other big change that they previewed for us is shooting.
We kind of already knew this.
We knew, well,
This is not really a surprise.
this was,
We didn't know the numbers, but we knew it was happening.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, it was teased in the video of the developer who was just kind of standing there talking.
But it's pretty much exactly what we thought it was
is
going
what
to
we
be.
thought it would be, yeah. So basically there's a new bit of shooting that's added to the core rules. A unit can shoot when it is within 3 inches of the enemy. You can do that right now. But if it does so, it can only target enemy units that are within 3 inches of it with its shooting attacks. So if you're in combat, you can only shoot the people you're in combat with.
Makes sense.
We thought,
I've had no
we
problem
thought that was
with
a good idea for
thematically.
a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah. And then a unit can shoot at an enemy unit that is within 3 inches of another friendly unit without penalty. That's the same. They're just, I think
You can shoot into combat.
Yeah.
If you're shooting and you are in combat, you have to shoot into your combat.
Yep. you can shoot into any of the combats that you're in.
Right.
But you can't shoot out of combat, which is going to be really interesting for how you protect, especially people that have big artillery, big war machines.
You're gonna have people do that the way that armies actually used to do it.
Right.
You have your line in front, your line of your infantry in front, which of course is going to be a little bit more difficult in Age of Sigmar because there's so many ways to pop around the table.
Right. Well, that's what I'm thinking is, I'm thinking just...
You're going to have to bubble it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking in simple terms of a warplaning cannon.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to have to take...
You're going to bubble wrap it.
a pack of clan rats just to wrap around it a little bit that'll keep you from being able to engage it. Or just keep it on the move. Which, I guess you can do that too.
What, how many inches a turn?
Right. 3. But, they go into a couple of things that are going to be tactically, that'll bring in new... Cavalry are going to get a good bit stronger than they have been in the past.
They need to be a little bit stronger.
Just
But
because...
they need to have a purpose besides running up the field and dying.
Right, because that's what cavalry do right now.
Running up the field and claiming the objective that's off in the corner that nobody's near.
Right.
Right.
That's all they're doing. But
Which is great, but I don't want to spend just my cavalry on that.
But yeah, you're definitely not going to, want a unit to pop up behind you that's got 30 models in it that's just going to wrap around your big shooters and keep them from being able
and
to...
even if they don't kill them, they're
tied up.
basically pulling them out of the game.
Yeah.
So
Because for the most part, a lot of the shooting that's in the game is designed to take out heroes.
Yeah.
As opposed
which
to...
is going to be more difficult anyway if people
I
play
mean,
their
minus
heroes
one to
right.
hit, and now if you're tied up, you can't shoot that one hero.
You're going to have to... so if you, although like your magma pikes, if you've got a unit of 10 of them, they're probably going to obliterate through a chaff unit that's trying to tie them up in one turn. So
A chaff unit.
Yeah. But you throw a couple of like heavily armed, like heavy cav at them, or throw some chariots or something that got a decent save, then definitely tie them up.
Well, you throw something like that at them, they're going to evaporate when you hit them anyway
That's probably true.
because they don't have much of a save.
But I think we've all agreed that this is something needed to be addressed in shooting. And
Well, Keratin Overlords was a prime example of that because, you throw all those shooting models out there, and especially if you spike some tie rolls. I played Ryan, our ogre, playing Ryan, and
Ryan or Ogre.
Yeah, he had 2 stone horns that he was sending across the table at me. And this was back in the time when the rule was you totaled up your wounds for the phase and then halved them.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, each one effectively had like 24, 28 wounds.
Mhm.
I took one down and more than half of the wounds on the other with one shooting phase. I mean, that's insane.
I mean, we saw that game that was on Warhammer Live a while back where it was it Ben Johnson?
Yeah.
Took down Scarbrand, or he took down a Bloodthirster and almost all of a Scarbrand.
Well, it was that
In
whole
one
it was
turn.
that whole battalion that was all the
Yeah.
Bloodthirsters. Just took them out in
Yeah.
one round.
Just 8 Bloodthirsters.
Ate them.
And then, like, in the next turn, took the last 2 wounds off of Scarbrand or something.
Yeah. And virtually wiped out the only other unit that was
Yeah.
left.
So, I
With
mean,
shooting? Who's he playing? Correct or no?
Yes.
yeah, it was right when Overlords came out. And it was nasty. But they actually mentioned your little dudes, or no, maybe they mentioned them in the faction focus. The Grunstock.
Yeah, retreat out.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's going to be great to be able to retreat out in.
Because then you can shoot at whoever you want to.
Yeah. Especially, in their turn when they charge you, then you can retreat out instead of fighting, and then be like, "Hey, you try to tie me up now. I can keep
And now I
shooting
can keep shooting.
9,000 guns at you." So
Yeah, I got to do that one trick pony once because I didn't tell Wes about it.
Nice.
it's like one of the only times that Mike has subterfuged me and not just soundly thrashed me on the up and up. Yeah.
Yeah, he asked me how good they were in combat, and I was like, they're not really all that good in combat. That was all I said.
Yep.
And he charged in, attacked with another unit, and I went, okay, they're going to retreat.
Well, the funny thing was, if he had said they were okay, my idea was, because what I originally was, I was going to wrap them with a unit of Blood Warriors.
Mm.
And so instead of wrapping them with a unit of Blood Warriors, I just put the Blood Warriors straight into them and did something else with another unit instead of, because if I'd done what I thought I should do, then they wouldn't have been able
They wouldn't have been able to
They
flee. You
wouldn't have
would have
been
had me
able to
wrapped up.
And I was like, oh.
Which I didn't know that was what you were
Yeah,
considering
I know you
doing.
did. I was like, I'll just go in there and hack them up then. I don't need to try and get fancy with it.
But I didn't lie because they're really not that
They're
good
not.
in combat. they really
So
suck.
It makes sense they run away. But yeah, so those are the new rules that have been kind of released out that all sound interesting. I like the endless spell thing,
I think it's going to be interesting.
I think I'm going to like it.
especially since both of my armies are super castery.
Well, even if you don't have a caster, you can still control an endless spell that another wizard's putting out.
Well,
From what I
depends.
understand.
Do you need another wizard to do it?
It doesn't say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
As of right
I
now-
don't think you're going
Because as
I don't think they're gonna do
unpredictable
that.
as they are, that's why both people can...
because the spells
Control
basically
them.
take a life of their own.
Right,
The
right.
predatory are literally hunting things down to kill.
right.
Yeah.
So
Which is going to be awesome. I really like that they're taking a lot of the sting out of the double turns.
They really are.
No longer is it like the death of you. Well, now you get to control the endless spell first. If you lose to the double turn, but you have the chance to not because you have the tie breaking
Right.
ability. So I
I
think
mean,
it's great.
the question is, the more endless spells that are on the board, or actually probably the less endless spells that are on the board, if there's just the one, you're probably going to have people that say, all right, I'll just keep the turn over the thing.
yeah, I'll keep the turn order the same so that I can control the spell.
And then imagine just they're not going to be that powerful or overpowered because not everybody's going to want to summon one. Well, crap, that guy summoned one. I can't afford to summon one because then,
Because now he's going to get to control one.
yeah, I'll be wiping out my stuff just as fast as he's wiping out, the other stuff.
Well, the fun thing is going
I
to be
really
to
like-
see all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like the way that they came up with mechanisms to alter the way we all look at the possibility of the double turn,
Without getting rid of it.
keeping the priority roll each round, and making it not only much more interesting, but I think it's going to work out to be much more balanced.
Yeah, I think it'll balance out
Yep.
because I think you'll see a lot less people take the double turn.
Right?
depending
It's
on
not
what-
going to be automatic.
Yeah. Now, if there's no
It's-
predatory spells on the board, then you're going to take
Yeah.
the double turn.
I mean, it's
Do what you do.
almost automatic that if you get the double turn, you take the opportunity and do it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not going to be that way anymore. And I really like that.
Yeah.
And I was one of the ones in our local meta that argued for it. I like the rolling the priority every round.
I enjoy it from a action and suspense standpoint. I don't enjoy it from
the problem with it, the way that it was, the problem with it, the way it was, how many times have our games come down to a priority roll?
Almost always.
So, I mean, all things considered, we're fairly evenly matched, and we're all good at building an army list with it. So, our forces are relatively evenly matched. And I can't even count the number of times that, while I like it for the same reason that you said, it's anticipation, it's suspense, I really need to get this roll.
Mm-hmm.
But the number of times that a loss was based off of that one roll, and a game shouldn't be that way. I think they may have fixed that. I hope so.
I can't wait until it comes down to priority roll, but it's not the game, beforehand, I lose a priority, he's going to wipe my unit, that's going to be it. Now, I lost a priority. Is he going to give me that combat to control the spell? Or am I going to get to wipe out that unit before he can even combat
because
with it? Because
I
get the spell. I think it adds at least one more round to a lot of stuff if there's a predatory spell on the field.
It throws more thinking into the aspect of the double turn. What am I going to do with it?
Yeah. Well, I think it's definitely going to make you it's going to make you, even, like for Mike with both Overlords and Fire Slayers, like no magic armies, it's going to make players that play those armies that don't have magic think about, do I want to, spend 120 points on an allied wizard?
A wizard, yeah.
To be able to put one of these things down, or do you just want to rely on the other guy putting them down and then you get the opportunity to control them sometimes? I think it's going to be interesting, for sure.
I do too.
Add a whole new wrinkle that definitely does change the entire thought of that double turn, which I think was, like you said, I think they addressed it in such a cool way. Now, when we actually put it in practice, it makes up.
Yeah. Well, and it may. We'll find out. But I like the fact that, because the easy solution for them would have been, we're getting rid of.
We'll just do it. Like
we just do it like we do 40K. You roll at the beginning of the game, and then you alternate turns. That was the easy way out. They didn't take the easy way out. They're like, this is something that's unique for Age of Sigmar. We want to try to keep it. Let's figure out how we can make it work better and make people think more tactically.
Well, because all army games are like that. You figure out the turn order at the beginning of the game, and that's the game. Skirmish games are the games where the turn orders have all kinds of nifty ways of going about them.
Right.
So it is unique for AOS to have at least a mechanic that isn't I go, you go.
Right.
So, can you imagine if they did Age of Sigmar and it was like, I activate a unit, you activate a unit?
Ugh.
Like a skirmish
First of all, it'd take forever.
It might. It could take a while. I mean, can you imagine if you did it like you did, say, like a Frostgrave style
like Wild West Exodus?
Yeah, like Wild West Exodus, yeah. That'd be neat. We should play a game that way one time. Just see what it's like.
Just see how it is.
It could be crazy.
Could do it.
I can imagine just like War Machine. Let me fully activate this model before I go on to the next one.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
Until all you're casting with your wizard.
Yeah. Just get it all out of the way per. That would make the combat rounds weird.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Definitely don't charge in 3 inches with one guy.
Oh, I already charged in with this guy. I don't want to charge with any of my other units because he's going to attack me first.
Yeah.
They saw that one charge and they set their bayonets to take my
They're
next
like,
one.
nope.
Oh, so factions. Who do we want to talk about?
Who do we have time to talk about? I know we've been gabbing.
We've been gabbing for a while. Let's see what we're at. We're actually almost at our hour. We talked about 3 rules.
We still got 12 faction focuses.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're going to need something to talk about next week.
And let's be honest, you guys are reading these faction focuses just as fast as we are.
Yeah. You're reading the rules as fast as we are.
But, I mean, we've got time to cover 1 or 2. Because
Well,
we need to cover some because they're just going to be more.
Right.
On the realm of endless spells, let's look at Tzeentch. Because
That sounds
They
good.
do talk about another one, yeah.
that one is
Super cool.
super cool.
And super weird.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Yeah. The mechanisms of time. In their controlling player's hero phase, a wizard within 9 inches of this model may manipulate the cogs to increase or decrease the flow of time. They may do this in the same phase as the chronomatic cogs are set up. If they do so, choose one of the effects below. It lasts until their next hero phase or until an enemy wizard chooses to manipulate the cogs. Speed up time.
Yeah, now, here's the interesting thing. That specifically says an enemy wizard.
An enemy wizard. That is
Because
true.
we were just talking
I
about that.
didn't read that
Yeah,
last
this one
time.
does say, but now the sun did. I don't think it said wizard.
No.
No, the sun did not say that.
So maybe this one is just wizard only.
There probably is some of both.
Yeah.
Could be. Well, this one's not predatory. So that
It's
True.
not.
That could be it. Speed up time. Add 2 inches to the move characteristic of all units on the battlefield. In addition, add 2 to charge rolls for all units on the battlefield. That's nasty.
That is
Now,
nasty.
you know what I think would have been a cool addition to the speed up time? At the end of your battle turn,
All
your
all
turn,
your units turn red.
any units that move the extra amount suffer 1 mortal wound. Because you sped up time to aged.
Oh,
That I would just get more units as death.
It
would heal me in mortal wound.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I know why they didn't do it, but that would have
Right.
been cool
That
for
would be
flights.
funny, yeah.
That's just great though for
Oh, that's amazing.
all destruction. Now it's like, oh, okay, let me ally a cave shaman because I mean
Yeah.
they're fast enough already, but add 2 to charge rolls and 2 inches to move.
And when I cast a spell, I'm going to eat a shroom, so I'll make sure it goes off.
Yeah, I mean, that's just nasty. Slow down time, though. The wizard manipulating the cogs can cast 1 additional spell in this hero phase. In addition, reroll failed saves for that wizard. That's stupid.
also pretty good too.
I mean, Zinch, Nagash. That's just, wow. That's a lot of spells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Talk about being one model being able to
Alario.
manipulate this, set up one of those little casting things, put a purple sun through it, and then
And then get rid of the portal.
portal just do whatever they want to do like that.
Yeah.
It's just the age of the wizards.
Yeah, I mean, Magic is going to be big time.
Yeah.
I think the other one that we could talk about, since they did flesh out how it works, would be Seraphon.
Oh, yeah, especially with their summoning.
Yeah, the way their summoning works. So basically, with Seraphon, you get...
You win. That's,
Well, yeah.
Sum it up.
Well, if you're against demons, that's how it used to be.
Well, you are demons if you're Seraphon.
But you're Order Demons.
You're space demons.
Yeah, you're Star Demons.
Star demons.
So the Seraphon get a thing for their summoning called Celestial Conjuration. And it's a bit of an involved rule, but it seems to be pretty straightforward. So,
It's a bit involved, but it's straightforward.
yeah,
This
there's
is
just a lot to it.
straightforward. We just talked about it for 20 minutes before the podcast.
Right, yeah. we did. All right, so
To figure it out. No,
Yeah.
just kidding.
you can summon units of Seraphon to the battlefield if you collect enough Celestial Conjuration points. In your hero phase, before attempting to cast a spell with a Slan General, you can say that it will carry out Celestial Conjuration instead. If you do so, you receive 3 Celestial Conjuration points instead of being able to attempt to cast that spell. That clears up what we talked about.
Yep, that spell.
Yep. The question is, can you do it more than once? If you can cast 2 spells, could you do it twice?
I'm going to say,
It's
I'm going to say
any
it's
spell.
written, well, but it doesn't say casting any spell and then that spell. It says cast a spell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that the intent, because the way it's written, is that you can do it once.
Okay. That's what I...
Because instead of casting a spell, and then you do not attempt to cast that spell. So if you have multiple spells, you can still cast another spell, but you can't do this again. Because you already did it for a spell.
I can see that.
So let's see here. So you get 3 points if you do that. In addition, at the end of your hero phase, you receive 1 Celestial Conjuration point if your general is a Slan and is on the battlefield.
So you're up to 4.
Yep. And you get D3 Celestial Conjuration points if there are 1 or more friendly Saurus Astrolith bears on the battlefield.
So that's 1 or more, so you only get 1d3, no
Yep.
matter how many.
So you could max at 7 a turn.
Which is enough to summon.
And
One
if you've got
thing.
all of that in place, you're going to average 6 per turn. That would be your average. Because the D3 is going to average 2. And
Right. Yep.
I think the worst thing, though, is when you look at the what you can summon. 10 skinks a turn. If you average 6, skinks cost 6 to summon.
Yep. So basically, if you have 6 or more Celestial Conjuration points at the end of your movement phase, which means turn 1, you can do this.
Yep.
You can summon 1 or more units from the list on the right, which I assume that's in the rules, onto the battlefield, and add them to your army. Each unit you summon costs a number of Celestial Conjuration points as shown on the list, and you can only summon a unit if you have enough Celestial Conjuration points to pay its cost. That makes sense. Summoned units must be set up wholly within 12 inches of a friendly Slann or a friendly Saurus Astrolith Bearer, and more than 9 inches away from enemy units. Subtract the cost of the summoned unit from the number of conjuration points you have immediately after the summoned unit has been set up.
And then they show some of the
They
choices that
show
you
a
have.
few, yeah. So for 6 points, you can get a Salamander, 1 single Salamander, 1 Razordon, 10 Skinks, or 3 Skink Handlers. And then it starts to fade out, but we can see that for 12 points, you can get 3 Pterodon Riders or a Skink Star Priest. And then we can't see any more beyond that.
Right.
I've tried. There's something else at 12.
It says skink something.
It says Skink something. It might be Skink just Priest.
Skink Priest?
But it's a Skink something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's just the preview they give for it. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. Now, the interesting thing is...
basically, you're averaging summoning a unit
every
every turn.
Yeah.
Or you can hold on to them.
If you want the lower level units.
Yeah, or you can hold on to them.
You can hold on to them and get something
Get something
more
bigger.
amazing.
I mean, you know that there's probably, for
There's
18
going to be
points,
something stupid on up
you're
there.
going to be able to, if you can hold it out for 3 turns, you know you're going to get an Engine of Gods.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking about it earlier when I was reading this, and I went to look at what some of the Seraphon do because I have no idea. And I
They
was
do
looking at
lots of the nasty.
I was looking at the Razordon, and I was thinking, if you have a couple of Astrolith Bears, and you get the D3 points, or get the 6, movement phase, you run that bad boy all the way up the field.
Yep.
Summon it not within 9 inches of an enemy, and just sit it there. You can summon a Razordon. The enemy charges it, he automatically shoots when they charge him. So it's just like, that's a lot of shooting just because for free.
You put a gun platform out there for free.
Yeah, all the way out the field.
Yeah.
Just my thoughts on it. Let me just shoot twice for free. 2d6 shots.
So, I mean, Seraphon are going to be interesting in how that works.
Yeah, because they weren't already massively powerful.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing that they don't have is a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
Like almost none.
They look good too. That's the thing that just drives me nuts.
They're pretty cool models. Yeah.
I mean, they're dinosaurs.
They are dinosaurs.
Gotta love dinosaurs.
And why wouldn't you love dinosaurs?
I think we should get dinosaurs as death. I mean, they gotta die.
They're not souls.
I don't care about souls, I just want the bones.
They're not really dinosaurs though. They're star demons.
That is true.
They
Give
just
me the bones
they
of
just
a
go
star
back to the
demon.
stars.
Give me bone stars.
Yeah.
Star bones.
Star bones. One day. I can dream.
Well, I think we have officially
Ramble.
I've been rambling the whole time this one. So. But so we'll pick up with some other factions probably, and then any other rules that drop, unless like the entire rule book drops this coming weekend, which won't happen. But
That'd be hilarious.
No, it's not going to be this weekend
Yeah,
because Imperial Knights is this weekend.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to go on pre-order
On the 9th.
Saturday week, the 9th,
I can see
and
that.
then release the following week. That's what I think. I would like for it to go on pre-order this weekend and release on the 9th, but I don't think that'll be the case.
That would be super fantastic.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad it's in time for your birthday so that you can do the reverse birthday where you buy everybody else a present.
Dude,
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
This is not Games Workshop Deutschland.
We can call it that.
I mean,
Whatever it takes to get
Yeah.
me some Night Hunt, okay?
I can
that's all that matters.
I can call Seth a Lord of Change. It doesn't change the fact that he's a human.
I don't know.
That's what
He
you think.
may actually be a Lord of Change.
That's actually a good point. That is
I
fair.
just have no idea.
I didn't get you talking, Tila.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I didn't try hard enough. I guess I was too tired or something. I don't know.
Next
why.
week, Seth and I just won't show up.
Yeah, it'll just be Tila
Yeah.
and Mike.
No one would listen to that show. I mean, they would listen to Mike talk, but I would just be like, yeah,
No, I'm just going to let you know, the shows that you talk more, we get more downloads.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a fact.
It's my lucky presence. That's what it is.
It's your amazing radio voice.
Yeah.
That's what it is. We got to get you recording some more overlays and stuff.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. We need to do that. Definitely. So, anything else?
I'm just ready for it to come out. I'm tired of previews.
Yeah,
I know,
me
right?
too. Yeah.
I'm chomping at the bit over here.
I can't get enough of the reading of the stuff that's releasing done. Not because there's too much of it. There's not. I've just got too much other crap I've got to read right now. But,
Gotta read the Malign Portents, though. That's important. Especially this last one. A spider died. That's all I
that's
care
always
about.
good, right?
Yep.
Seth, our arachnophobe.
Yep.
Yeah.
If somebody picks that army up, I'm not promising what would happen to that.
I am so going to do a goblin spider army
Just an Arachnarok army.
just
for Seth.
for Seth.
I won't show
I had
up.
the spider riders,
I won't be there. that day.
Ragnarok.
That's what Brian did.
That's going to be it.
And he was like, look at these. I'm like, nope.
Maybe throw a few squigs in, like mangler squigs, but give them 8 legs each.
Yeah, 8 leg squigs.
Well, he
Yeah.
at least painted them red so they didn't look like spiders. Like,
Oh,
if
I
he
would
made
make
them
mine
look like
I would make mine
spiders,
look like- mine would be Black Widows.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't show up. Just be, nope. I would
Or you
ruin
know
the
what I would do?
video.
I would actually texture them so they were hairy, so they were tarantulas.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they don't really look like tarantulas. They look more like
They do.
But
They,
yeah,
they,
but Wes could make them look like
they got
tarantulas if
big
he wanted
bulbous
to.
abdomens.
Yeah.
We're not even allowed to have Halloween decorations that are spider related.
Nope.
Like, period. I put up web and I had to take
you know,
it all down.
this coming Halloween. I'm just going to do up the game room web and
You
hang
won't come in
plastic
here.
I will
You
spiders.
will not come in
stand
here.
outside the door and play like it's chess.
Because it feels like actual web to him, so if you put it in
Yep.
the door, he'll
Mhm.
never come in here.
Nope.
I'm gonna get one that like has an extendable string down and like hang it above Seth's chair and then hit a little remote and have it like just down right in front of his face during the game.
No, he almost killed
Make
us
sure none
in
of
the
my
car.
miniatures are on the board because they'll get broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
right?
do it.
I will
Because we were
flail.
driving and he literally like tried to slap me and the car and everything like
That
in the
thing
middle of the road. Tried to
came
kill us
down
both.
from the visor, and it was nighttime.
That happened the other day to me. I just flicked it.
I flicked it too, and everything else that was
with,
in
flicked it
with
with your
both
whole body?
hands
Yeah.
off the wheel, tried to flick the spider.
Listen,
We should sign off.
Yeah, I was just sitting over here thinking, I need to get to a point where I can throw in. You can reach us on Twitter at Age of the Hammer. We are on Facebook. Just look for Age of the Hammer, and our email is ageofthehammer@gmail.com. Give us a comment. Come by and see our page. Wes is going to finish up that Stormcast that he's doing for a D&D character and post it up for us. And what else, guys?
and I checked the Twitter. I do not want to see spider pictures.
Yes.
Just
Tweet spider
do
pictures
not.
to us.
As not related at all.
Send them to Seth. All right, guys. We will be talking with you all next week. And until then, keep rolling dice.
The SGWA would like to thank you for listening. We would also like to mention our theme music, the classic O Fortuna, as recorded by the MIT Concert Choir and used under common license. The Age of the Hammer is upon us.